Surprise, surprise, back at it again with another DIY haircut tutorial. Hey everyone, it's Ariel. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're doing another DIY haircut tutorial. At this point, I feel like I've done 100 of these videos, but you guys always seem to enjoy them and find them helpful. And today I'm due for a haircut, so I was like, I'll just film it, share it with the girlies. And maybe we can also just do a little like chit chat hangout so that even if you're not cutting your own hair while you're watching this, we can still just like yeah. So yeah, I'm going to show you guys all of my tips for how to cut your own hair at home, including how to cut the length of your hair, the layers, some face framing, and also how I prep my hair. And then I'll also make sure to link all of the tools that I'm using in the description box down below, so make sure to check that out if you need anything. And if you do enjoy this video or find it helpful, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new here. And with that said, let's just get right into it. So first and foremost, step number one is the hair prep. As you can see, my hair is straight right now. I always like to cut my hair straight because that's how I wear it most often. My hair is naturally curly, but I usually like to cut my hair straight just because then I know that this is how I wear it. And so if I cut it like this, it's gonna look good when I wear it like this. But if you have curly hair or even wavy hair, it is not a bad idea to cut it wet because obviously the curls change and just like spring up differently when it's dry. But if you have straight hair or you wear your hair straight most of the time like me, then this is how I would recommend it, just doing a dry cut. And then I'm just making sure that my hair is free of any tangles. I did this off camera, but I'm doing it again. And then the next step is to make sure that your hair is parted where you usually part it. And for me, lately that's been in the middle, so it's good where it is. But if you have a side part, make sure to part your hair on the side, because if you cut it in the middle and then wear it on the side, it's gonna not be even. And then at this point, this is where you should just do a little bit of a consultation. I know you're doing your own hair, but just take a look at your hair. Think about how much length you want to take off, what style you want to give yourself. Do you want bangs? Do you want face framing? Do you want it to be all the same length? Like, just do a little consultation with yourself so that you know what you're actually trying to achieve. And for me, I know that I don't want like a big haircut. This is really just a trim because I am growing my hair, so I don't really have like a specific inspiration for this haircut. I'm just trying to keep my hair as long as possible while keeping it as healthy as possible. That is the key. And then I also have been kind of growing out my curtain bangs at this point, so they probably need some reshaping. I mean, they're almost completely grown out. They were like up here at one point. So yeah, we will trim those and reshape them a little bit and just take off a little bit of length, take off the dead ends, because you can see like where my hair is damaged and split and just needs to be cut off. So hair prep is done. Now I think it's time to cut. Now we're moving on to the length portion of the haircut, which is always the first place that you want to start cutting. It's also sometimes referred to as the perimeter, and it's kind of just like a base point for where you'll bring everything else to, like where the layers will connect to, where the face framing connects to. That is like the base point of your haircut. And we've already done our consultation, so we know how much length we're trying to cut off. I have makeup on my shirt. It's really unfortunate. I just noticed that. Ignore that. But yeah, like I said, I know that for me, I don't want to cut off a lot of length. This is where you really have to make sure you're looking straight. I don't know if I should look this way. So I'm gonna cut off. I always start wimping out because I really just like want my hair to be long already. The thought of cutting it makes me sad, but like health over length. Go to choose health over length. So I'm gonna do like half an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch.
2 seconds later.
Having second thoughts. I'm gonna do that much. I think that's like half an inch. So satisfying. Okay, but like that probably wasn't even enough. Do a little bit more. If I was gonna actually take off as much length as I should, I'd probably cut it up to like here, but I'm too scared. This is already so much better. I'm just gonna even that out a little bit. It's like such a small difference, but look how much better that looks. Way better. Let's do this side. Oh, also I didn't mention it, but I split my hair in the middle at the back. So now I'm gonna comb this side straight down. Now I have a guide that I can copy. And then sometimes I even freehand, like you can see this is not like perfectly even. I'll just freehand this. Okay, wow, sorry, I just like stopped talking there. I don't really focus. I always get like a little bit nervous to cut my own hair, even though I've been doing it for so long already. I don't know, just like freeze up. Anyway, that is pretty much it for the base layer. The only thing from here that we should do is make sure that it's even in the back. Okay, are we even? What do you think? I can't really see. It's not really working. So this is my other trick for making sure the back is even. It's not really working either. Okay, perimeter base length is done. Now let's move on to the layers. There's so many different ways to do layers. You can do them soft and rounded. You can do them blunt and like choppy. You can do them short, you can do them long. And honestly, with my layers, I have a love-hate relationship with them where I like never know if I want to just grow them out and keep my hair blunt or keep cutting them. I did take like a pretty good amount off of them last time, so I think I'm just gonna do a little like, just a little trim. Whatever really like needs to come off. Keep it minimal. I actually don't remember the last time I cut my hair. It's probably been like at least a couple of months. And I went through a phase of like not cutting my hair for, I don't know, like 6 months at a time, which is way too long. I'm trying to get better at like, you know, doing it every 8 weeks or like at least every couple months so that my hair stays healthy. Wow, honestly my layers look really good. There's like hardly any dead ends there. I see that. I'm just gonna like dust these off. So the best technique that I found for cutting your own layers at home, which is actually the same technique that I would use at the salon, is doing what I just showed you guys. So like pulling a section from around the part straight up and then cutting off however much you want from there. If you pull your fingers down, you can see where that first layer will end up once you cut it and let it go. And that is a real technique. Like I used to be a hairdresser, if you don't know, and that is literally what I do to other people. So I find it the easiest and you get the best results that way, in my opinion. So basically what that did, taking that section around the part, is create a guide all the way around. So now we have a first layer that we can blend from there into the end. So that's what we're gonna do next. This part is where it gets like kind of tricky because you have to pull all of this hair up and like kind of hurts your arm. Ooh, all the way up. And then this, if you can see, this is what I'm gonna be cutting off. Oh, if it'll focus. So this here is my guide that we just cut, and I wanna cut all of this off. This always scared me because it seems like a lot, but really, it's not that bad. I mean, I'm cutting off like little shreds of hair. It's really not that bad. I just feel like getting any haircut when you're like trying to grow your hair out or like you're on a hair journey, it feels more serious than it is because it's like, oh, I worked so hard to like grow my hair, now I have to cut it. But it really does keep it way healthier and it's really important. So make sure you're cutting your own hair, or make sure you're cutting your hair. You don't have to cut it yourself, but like make sure you are getting regular haircuts because if you don't, your hair's not gonna be as healthy. And I just always feel like what's the point of having long hair if it's not gonna be healthy, you know? Even though I know that I could be taking more hair off than what I'm doing today, but there's a point. There's a point where I'm just too scared. My hair's still gonna be healthier now than it was before the haircut. It's feeling so much better already. I always say this, but like it's crazy how even just like the little tiniest amount of hair getting cut off can make your hair feel so much better. It's actually shocking. You should comment down below if you do cut your own hair, or like just comment if you cut your own hair or you go to a professional, because with the amount of people that have commented and like said that they've found these videos helpful, it's surprising almost how many people have actually cut their own hair. But I love it. Like I feel like it's such a good skill to have, and it saves you so much money if every 2 months you're cutting your own hair instead of going and spending 60, 70, however many dollars to go and get someone else to do it. And like, yes, it can be scary. So definitely nothing wrong with going to a professional. As long as you go to someone good, they're gonna do a good job and they actually know what they're doing. But it does save you a lot of money, and I think that if you practice it, you can get pretty good at it. I also do feel like though that like at a certain point, it doesn't hurt to just go and see someone professional if you have been doing it yourself for a while. Like I feel like I'm almost at the point where I'm like, okay, I've been cutting my own hair for like 3 years, I think, maybe 4 years. So I'm like, hey, like maybe I should just go to someone who can like even out any like, you know, mess ups I've been doing by doing it myself. Because 3 years is a long time. That's a lot of DIY haircuts. So that feels good for the layers. I do also like to like grab a section from around my part and just bring it down to make sure that those two pieces are even. And look at this, it's not even. We need to fix that. If they're not even, then what you can do is pull a bigger section from around your part straight straight up once again, or straight from wherever your part is. Like if you have a side part, go like this. It actually is even. Look at that. And maybe a little bit here. But I think I might have been pulling down my curtain bangs and like my face framing, so that I messed it up. Let's try it again. Okay, now we're even. Alright, I think we're good. Also, I forgot to mention with the layers, but you can also cut them by pointing into them, or you can cut them straight across. And the only difference is that point cutting them will give you a slightly more blended look, whereas the straight one will give you a more uniform and more blunt look. So I've done both. I've even done a combination. That's kind of what I did this time, is like a combination between straight across and point cutting. But I do kind of lean towards point cutting because for me, I just find it looks more blended and it works with my hair, especially when I'm not taking off like a whole bunch of length. If I was taking off like inches at a time, then it would probably make more sense to do them straight across, because that would give me the most like even uniform look. But because I'm just like trimming here and there little, like the tiniest little amounts, for me it just works to point cut them. But that's something you can take note of as well. And now that we're done with the layers, let's move on to face framing and bangs. This part is fun because this is where you can really play with like your face shape, accentuating your favorite features, showing off your personality in like a fun new way, or even just change up your look without the commitment of like trying a whole new hairstyle. Like if I did front bangs right now, it would make me look totally different, but the only length that I'm losing would be from like this section. So it's not like that big of a commitment. Yes, bangs are a commitment, like don't get me wrong, but you can really experiment with this part. Like you can have a lot of fun with just the bang section of your hair if you're like kind of worried or scared to do anything with your whole head. So I love bangs and face framing, especially because I am kind of boring with the rest of my haircut. And speaking of being boring, I'm not going to be cutting a lot off of my bangs this time, because last time I cut my hair, I cut a lot off of my bangs. Like they were up to my cheekbone, and I've decided since then that I actually want to grow them out. I was like in this weird limbo phase for a while where I'm like, do I keep cutting my bangs or do I grow them out? And there's like an awkward phase that you have to go through. So that's like the biggest downside to bangs, I think. When do you decide, okay, I'm gonna just go through the awkward phase and like let them grow out, or I'm just gonna keep cutting them, and like when do I stop cutting them? But yeah, so this time I'm just gonna trim as little as possible, keeping that theme throughout my whole haircut, because I kind of like the idea of now keeping them like more of my chin length, because that way I can still have some fun with them. Like they're still shorter than the rest of my hair. I can still like leave them out and like do little cute styles with them, but they're not like so short that I have to like spend more time styling them and stuff. So I'll show you how I do mine. I like to usually comb them straight down and then take a small section, once again from around the part. This is where, you guessed it, we're doing our guide. To determine how much length I'm going to cut off, I'm just going based off how they feel. And I do think they need like half an inch off because the end feels pretty rough. So my guide is going to be here. And do I want to do straight across? I'm going to point cut. So that is my guide, and then from there I can take little bits at a time, blend into my face framing, and I'm gonna slide cut here. So I'm basically just like opening and closing my scissors really fast. You have to be really careful with this. Just go slow, take little bits at a time. Basically I'm just doing this. And it's cutting like right in the corner of this, notching away the dead ends, and basically blending my like grown out curtain bangs into my face framing. So I'll do that all the way down, and then I'll repeat this on the other side. And by the way, just in case anyone is wondering like what my haircut is, even though again like it's kind of just in a growing out phase, so I don't know if there's a specific name, but just in case you're wondering, I would say that my length is like medium and blunt on the ends, and then I have medium to long layers. Usually point cut them, so I like them very soft, very blended, almost like they're not even there. And I'm gonna pause to show you guys this because this part is actually really important. This is the corner where your face framing, if you have it, meets the perimeter or like base layer of your hair. So this is really easy to mess up and like end up with a big hole here. So what I do, basically grab this hair and like I'll grab some from the bottom of my hair and some from the face framing. And then I know that this part I don't want to cut because that's part of the perimeter of my hair. So if I cut that, I'm gonna end up with a hole. So I'm just gonna blend this together and make sure that I don't go too far into that base section. I can do that a couple times just to make sure it's really blended. You guys see? this is where I love to like freehand. Just if you're gonna do this, please be careful because you could so easily just be like ruin your whole haircut, and I would hate that for you. So be careful. I think that feels good for the face framing. And then before I do it on the other side, I also like to pick the sections up and cut them this way so that I can soften them a little bit. I like to like fan this hair out a little bit and then point in to wherever it looks like kind of thick. And that will just make sure I'm keeping it really soft, really blended. You can see how it just looks so much more soft now. So I'll do that all the way down. And then yeah, continuing talking about my haircut. I would say that I do still have curtain bangs, like they're kind of curtain bangs, but they're long. And then face framing, connecting my curtain bangs to the perimeter of my hair. I'm gonna point into this a little bit more. I actually styled my bangs like completely straight this time. Normally I give them a little bit of like swoop, but I didn't do that this time because I knew that I was gonna be cutting my hair. So they're not like sitting the best, but I think we get the idea. I think it's looking pretty good. So now I'm just gonna repeat that on this side. And I mean, you guys can actually like see the difference. See how this is so soft? And then it's all just like really blended all the way down. Whereas this side, it looks a bit heavier and like it's just not as flattering. It's not as soft. It's just kind of like dragging me down. So it's a good like before and after. Okay, let's turn this side. For this side, I could slide cut, but it's so much harder because this is my dominant hand, so like I would have to go backwards like this, and I just like don't like doing that. So if you are also right-handed like me and you struggle with this side, this is how I do it. I just pull it out, and then here's my guide, and I just cut it like this. So I'm kind of cutting like vertically into it. And I can also like go in and soften it a bit right away. This is essentially doing the same thing as the slide cutting, it's just a different technique. Continuing all the way down. I'm basically just cutting off all of the like stragglers. I feel like you can tell when pieces need to be cut because it'll be like all of the hairs are going this way and then there's just a few that are like being like going the complete opposite way. That's how you know they're all split and dead, and they probably need to be trimmed off. The side of my hair is always like in worse shape for some reason. I think it's because I usually sleep on this side, and I do sleep on a satin pillowcase, but like I don't know what it is about this side that just gets good, just gets disheveled so much faster. Maybe it's that I have a harder time styling this side, so then like maybe I'm harder on it. I don't know. Another tip is to make sure that your hair is not like okay, another tip is to not comb out your earrings. Make sure that your hair is not over your, or like tucked behind your ear and you just like can't see it or feel it. That would mean that you have a hair that's just like underneath. And then when you go to cut the rest, you're gonna be missing that one. So then when you do get that hair, there's just gonna be one like rogue hair that's like sticking out and like not blended with everything else, which we don't want. All right, now I'm gonna pull this up, blend it. Okay, also don't cut yourself. Did you see how close that was? I actually cut somebody's hair yesterday and did cut myself. Where is it? Right there. See it? See it? And this scar is from when I literally cut a chunk off my finger and have to get stitches. So don't be like me. Please be careful with these scissors. Now I do like to pull it all together and just like see what I'm working with here. Now I'm kind of combining like layers and face framing, but I do just like to make sure that it's all kind of blended and like at least close to the same length. I'll just point into it, blend it all together. I'm all about that blend, you know? So now we have this side looking soft and blended. I love to see it. And how are we looking? Feeling way better and looking better, I think. What do we think? Do you agree? Then we should do another check of the back since I failed before. I think it looks good, right? Be honest, it's so hard to see, but I'm just gonna trust that it's good. If it's not, you guys can roast me in the comments. It's fine, I understand. So you guys, I think that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you found it helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, of course, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Once again, I will leave all of the links to all the products I'm using, my scissors, some clips in case you need some. These are my absolute favorites. I will link these in the description box. Comb, mirror, everything you need to do this yourself. So check the description box if you need some tools. Feel free to comment down below. Let us know what you're doing while you watch this. Are you cutting your own hair? Are you just hanging out? Let us know. Let's chat. I always respond to the comments. I will see you there. Also, let me know if there's any specific videos you guys want to see from me next. And you can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Style by Ariel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.